Welcome back to the news at 10. Now, even as Nigerians are trying to come to terms with the news of another tragic plane crash in Lagos, the chairman of the House of Representatives Committee on Aviation says the House will surely investigate the incident. Speaking in Abuja, the chairman said news of the crash came as a shock, especially after the devastating Dana crash last year. She said this crash is also a wake-up call for everybody in the industry.
Once this kind of thing happens, it's wake-up call for the people, the regulators to look inwards, and of course for the parliament to look at the laws again. And I'm saying it's too early. I don't want to preempt the outcome of the investigation, because we are going to investigate. And that means we're going to go to the sites, we're going to talk to people, we're going to talk to eyewitnesses, we are going to talk to a lot of people to find out the remote and immediate cause of this plane crash. And having said that, it's going to be very extensive, because we wouldn't want it to happen again. And that's why I said, if it's human error, then something concrete has to be done.
We shift focus now to security, and the Executive Director of the National Human Rights Commission, Professor Bem Angwe, says the Commission would soon make public its findings on the shooting and killing of 9 people in an uncompleted building in the Apo area of the Federal Capital Territory. Professor Angwe told journalists that most of the facts on the incident have been found and promised that the Commission would ensure that anyone found culpable is brought to justice. Well, the United States government has pledged to continue working closely with Nigeria to provide more intelligence and funding to help fish out members of the Boko Haram sect. In a web chat in Abuja, the Assistant Secretary of State for African Affairs, Ambassador Linda Thomas-Greenfield, noted that ongoing collaborations with the U.S. government have largely averted various terrorist plans across Africa. According to the ambassador, Nigeria would also benefit from the 3 major
in the legal system of Nigeria.
The Employees Compensation Act, signed into law by the federal government in 2010, is yet to run its full course in terms of implementation. The scheme demands zero contribution by the employee. This is to ensure that the workplace casualties are handled effectively. On our big story tonight, we take a look at the scheme 2 years after it took off.
Instant noodles, tasty nutrition, good for you.
Are you an employer of labor or an employee?
I'm an employee.
Have you heard anything about Employee Compensation Scheme, the ECS?
Not at all.
Are you an employer of labor or an employee?
I'm an employee.
Have you ever heard about the Employee Compensation Scheme, ECS?
No, I haven't.
The Employee Compensation Scheme has been signed, sealed and delivered to the public for about 3 years.
Yet, potential beneficiaries are still in the dark about the scheme.
It is a known fact that employees in some organizations, especially industries, are no doubt exposed to high levels of occupational hazards. These hazards are sometimes taken care of by the employers in the contractual agreement. This attracts some form of financial compensation, which is oftentimes reneged upon.
And so, the birth of the Employees Compensation Scheme to provide an open and fair system of guaranteed and adequate compensation.
Mr. Ismail Agaka is the General Manager, Lagos Zone of the Nigeria Social Insurance Trust Fund, the body that oversees the scheme.
In the case of the Workmen's Compensation Act, it was just a lump sum compensation. The aspect of rehabilitation and counseling, hospitalization, whether surgical, medical, nursing, and also apparatus that could lead to reintegration of the employee back to work. They were all absent under the Workmen's Compensation
2 years after the commencement of the employee compensation scheme, the NSTIF says only 500,000 employees have been registered under the scheme.
We are not in a hurry to start imposing sanctions. We rather go by suasion rather than coercion. And then we are also having a lot of support now being declared by the employer groups. As for the labor groups, we do not have much of an issue because this really is first and foremost to benefit the employee and also the employer, because the employer also stands to benefit in the sense that the burden of having to shoulder medical, surgical, nursing responsibilities of an injured employee has been taken off them.
For the first 2 years, only 1% of the total monthly payroll is paid into the fund by employers. This covers any form of injury experienced while on duty or even death, and thereafter reviewed. Though safety experts agree with the scheme, they have different views that may be related to the mystery surrounding the untimely death of Jennifer Onyeche while on duty at a fruit juice factory in Lagos.
We monitor industries in the states, all right? And we have seen a lot of cases. Employers provide their staff with protective wears, safety materials. But our people are fond of not using this. And we have said one thing to them, that we're not going to sanction your staff. We are going to sanction you, the employer, because it is your duty to enforce the usage of these PPE, protective wears.
We can see that there is still a lot of lip service. There is no doubt about that, until the rule of law actually holds them responsible that they have to pay compensation. Now, my advice is this. It is cheaper to prevent the accident from happening in the first place. It is also cheaper as a government to drive preventive measures, preventive implementation measures for safety, as opposed to waiting for it to happen.
The social security policies being executed in Nigeria include contributory pension scheme, the health insurance scheme, and the employees compensation scheme. But unlike the health insurance and contributory pension scheme, which have gained grounds, the employees compensation scheme is yet to take its full course. But with better education and implementation of the scheme, workers and even their dependents would have their backs watched. For the big story, Loretta Chiogo, Channels Television News.
Indomie instant noodles. Tasty nutrition. Good for you.
A major audit and advisory services firm, Deloitte, has taken a big step towards the restructuring of its operations in Nigeria and in Africa. Partners and clients gathered at an event in Lagos to celebrate the union of the larger Africa practice by Deloitte in Nigeria. Here's our correspondent Henry Ogujimi, who was there with this report.
It's time to relax and celebrate, away from the hustle and bustle of the city and the stress sometimes synonymous with paperwork at the office, as top management and staff of Deloitte hosted its partners and clients to celebrate the expansion of operations across borders.
We've done the formalities, doesn't mean you need to go.
We're now ready to move on, become a bigger firm, have more capabilities, because we have all these companies that are coming to Nigeria. Our Nigerian clients are investing around the world, and we want to be bigger and better. So I feel a real sense of excitement in our firm.
The marrying of the bigger brother coming into Nigeria means that more resources are available for the practice, greater levels of skills, and the mobility of our skills, and also international exposure to all our local skills, which is better for us. And it means we can bring more offerings into the local markets going forward.
As a firm that knows the opportunities that abound in Nigeria and Africa, and one that encourages the influx of foreign direct investment, Deloitte seems more concerned about doing the practice the African way.
it needs to be channeled properly, and we need to ensure that it leaves a legacy for the Africans here. And what we need to do as Africans is to make sure that we are involved in shaping the growth. We are involved in ensuring that the growth benefits the wider population and it is sustainable.
94-year-old Chief Akintola Williams founded the firm in Nigeria 41 years ago. He speaks on what has kept it strong.
Obviously, all other partners in the firm try to maintain a standard and quality of work they do and the moral standing they maintain.
For Deloitte, what is key is to allow and ensure the mobility of resources from Nigeria to Africa and the world. And to that, it remains committed. Henry Ogunjimi, reporting for Channels Television News.
Now, something different is about to happen in the insurance sector, and that's according to the management of Old Mutual West Africa. The company, which boasts of over 180 years' experience across different countries, has made an entry into Nigeria and hopes to bring with it its wealth of experience.
This is a gathering of journalists here to witness the official announcement of the arrival of Old Mutual Assurance in Nigeria.
Thank you very much.
Bringing in a wealth of experience spanning over 168 years, Old Mutual has been serving the growing insurance and investment needs of customers across the world and now hopes to change the insurance landscape in Nigeria.
Our objective is to work with existing insurance companies and the regulator to broaden and deepen the insurance market in Nigeria. We can't do it alone.
Founded in 1845 with origins in South Africa, the company over the last decade has expanded to 5 continents, including North and South America, Europe and Asia, and now West Africa, with a mission of being the customer's most trusted partner, passionate about helping them achieve their lifetime financial goals.
Old Mutual, as a long-term, leading international long-term savings, investment and protection company, offers both life and short-term products. In the life area, we offer group life and credit life, and we have plans to increase the product menu to include other products that our customers want. The process of introducing products in the market is one where it's very interactive, and so we talk to the customers, find out what they want, and then we fashion the products after their needs.
The Old Mutual Group is looking to invest about $600 million across East and West Africa, and Nigeria is a critical part of that expansion strategy. If their track record is anything to go by, it looks like the insurance sector in Nigeria is about to get a boost.
Truly the first.
For the rest of the business news, here's Joke Rogers. Joke?
Thank you, Ijoma. Players in Nigeria's public and private sectors should be optimistic about the short to medium-term solutions to the country's economic challenges. This is coming from the Coordinating Minister for the Economy, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. At a centenary lecture in Lagos today, she took time to explain the progress recorded so far, noting that constraints in fixing the economy can be controlled through attitudinal change. Coscharis Motors has unveiled yet again another series of the BMW brand in Lagos. The BMW 520i series is built for a more comfortable and jolly ride in any terrain. Our correspondent Loretta Chogo reports that car lovers can now test the strength of another road machine.
Here comes the latest series of the BMW, the BMW 5 Series. It comes in 5 models. This particular one is the 520i model, moving with so much confidence and style.
I don't know if I should thank him.
The chairman of Coscharis Motors isn't hiding his love and pride for this latest addition to the BMW family. He says to guests and friends gathered here that the after-sales service of the BMW products is nothing but a great technical experience.
You don't drive a car in Nigeria without seeing me within 6 months. It doesn't matter what brand you drive. So we can now understand the brand to represent how care will take over it compared to the brand that we do not represent.
The BMW 520i is low in fuel consumption and a fast detector of danger on the road. Mr. Cosmos Maduka reveals more features of the car.
This car can turn itself off on a traffic, so you don't need to burn your fuel, while the air condition and everything electronics on the car is still on. When you are driving the car, you don't take your eyes away looking at the mirror. Every object you want to know comes up straight on your front head in the windscreen.
You can pre-order your car, giving us your specification, the color you want, the interior, the options, and with that you have a car that is customized to your own taste.
In case you're still in doubt, Mr. Nicholas Eribogbe is an addict of the BMW brand. He reveals what has attracted him to the brand.
Some months ago, I had an accident. I was distracted while driving, and I ran into a stationary vehicle at regular speed. At that point in time, the features of the BMW took over. And for me, it was more of a pleasure and celebration that I came out. It was as if nothing had happened.
The BMW 520i is in full stock for car lovers, and with 9.5 million naira, driving comfort, especially in traffic-prone areas, has just begun. Loretta Chiogo, Channels Television News.
Well, I would certainly like to have me one of those. We'll cross over now to Nigeria's stock market. The index crossed the 37,000 points today after appreciating 0.97%. However, the market capitalization remained at 11.7 trillion naira. Bisi Coker has more.
Hello and welcome to the stock market reports. The all-share index rose to 37,000 benchmark today at the Nigerian equities market as it appreciated by 0.97% to close at 37,266.68 points. Market capitalization remained at 11.7 trillion naira. Thursday's price gainers include Nigerian breweries, Cadbury and Guarantee Trust Bank. On the flip side, Guinness led the losers chart as it dropped 10 naira from its share price and is followed by Okomo Oil and Unilever. The most traded equities for the session include Zenith Bank, Consolidated Hallmark Insurance and Sterling Bank. When the closing bell rang, volume came in higher at 412.35 million units and valued at 4.9 billion naira. And that's a wrap on the stock market reports. I am Bisi Coker.
Thank you, Bisi. That's it on Business News. On the news at 10, we'll leave you with those global markets before Ijoma returns with the rest of the news.
First Bank, truly the first.
Still ahead on the news at 10, former world light welterweight champion gets big pay match date with Floyd Mayweather Jr. for May next year. That's on Sports News. You join us again.